Welcome to Tan's Two Cents T2C podcast. This is our first inaugural episode, so I'm very excited today. Today's episode title is The Money Mindset, where we unpack the essential yet often overlooked financial management aspects crucial for small business success. Heck, crucial for any business success. I'm your host, Tan Wilson, and today we've got Miss Sadaf Shukla, Entellect's Chief Pricing Strategist, to share strategies and tactics for financial health that many small businesses miss. Let's uncover the insights that can transform your pricing strategy. Sadaf, thanks for joining us today. And it's always great to talk to you about such a taboo topic, right? Money, pricing, profit. Please say hello to our listeners, who we call intellectuals, and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hi, thank you, Tan, for having me on your show today. I'm genuinely very excited to be here. With over 12 years of experience in GovCon industry, my focus has been mainly in finance, contracts, and compliance. And this has been an incredible journey for me. Working both as an employee and as a consultant with various small businesses has greatly shaped my perspective on financial management, and I'm eager to share my insights and experiences with you guys today.
That's great. We're very excited to have you. But before we dive into this complex world of GovCon pricing, can you share a little bit about this journey into the world of government contracting and what drives your passion in this field? Not everybody wakes up every day and say, I'm going to go into government contracting or I'm going to do government pricing. So what drives your passion for this?
Thank you, Tan. I started on my professional journey as an accountant for a small GovCon 8A company right out of college. And over the last 12 years, I've held roles as a director and CFO for small businesses such as 8A, veteran owned, Native Alaskan companies as well, women owned companies. And throughout this time, I've actively participated and witnessed various transformations, from engaging in joint ventures to contributing to substantial growths of small businesses. And these experiences have provided invaluable lessons to me. And my goal is to apply these insights and lessons, ensuring that other small businesses receive the support they need without having to go through unnecessary step backs or
Great. So speaking of journeys, Sadaf, makes me think about the strategic oversights that many businesses fail. So let's kind of unpack our first segment here about uncovering the overlooked questions. I believe, like what you believe is that the big picture question that's often missed in the GovCon world.
This could be such a long answer as well, but I'll try to keep it short. But as we all know, building a solid financial foundation is crucial for the success of a small business. And while many focus on the day to day operations and just being into the weeds, certain crucial yet overlooked questions are essential to establishing a strong financial base. And I believe small businesses should consistently inquire about certain things such as their break even point, their budgets, forecasts, and understanding their cash flow cycle. And really also having a structured cash reserve in place. They should also be assessing the quality of financial reporting and continuously monitoring their key performance indicators. And having a well defined tax planning strategy, these are all equally very important and components of building and sustaining your financial health.
And that's quite a long list of questions. I think some questions that I didn't even have in there, and some of the age old questions of what is your break even point. That's really hard sometimes for companies to answer. Additionally, to budgets and forecasts, I think a lot of times people use those interchangeably. And you and I have had discussions about this before, that they're not interchangeable. Words, and there's different meanings to different things like that. So I think this episode is going to be so valuable for our intellectual listeners, because I think it's going to really kind of help establish a really good baseline for industry and for those who are new to the GovCon, and maybe some of those who have been in the business for quite a few years, to really kind of get on the same page, with all of that. So it really does sound like, asking the right questions, knowing the importance of financial health. Let's kind of shift a little bit to talk about like the focus of cash flow, right? So cash flow optimization. What tactics can small businesses employ to ensure that their cash flow is positive and is in a position where it's optimized for growth?
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of my favorite topics actually, because a lot of small businesses are so focused on either their cash flow or their books. And books are usually on an accrual basis, which is completely different than your cash flow, which is on cash basis. So this is, like I said, one of my favorite topics. And honestly, you've got to start by having a cash flow analysis that you keep
Right.
up with at all times. And to ensure you have a positive cash flow, you've got to take a look at all of the expected cash inflows and outflows on a weekly basis, to start with, and just regularly updating it, reviewing it to anticipate any potential challenges and to keep a close eye on your accounts receivable. And there are a lot of things that you could do to sort of optimize that. Implementing effective invoicing systems and reminders for any overdue payments that you may have, the continuous follow up on outstanding invoices. I know in the small business, we find ourselves sort of reaching out and ensuring that our invoices are getting paid on time. So that's very critical. And then also evaluating and controlling your operating expenses. And I know as we talk further today, Ton, we'll get into more details with these
Mhm.
items, but and also I think one of the biggest thing, because of the GovCon nature, and how the timing sort of, there's a lag. Let's say you win a new contract, um, there's like a 60-day lag before you get paid
Yep.
from the government. So it's really important to also have some sort of a line of credit in place through your banks that can help with any unforeseen cash flow outflows that may happen.
Yeah. I think that's one of the challenges with those who are new to GovCon,
Mhm.
is the understanding that while the government, they pay very regularly, um, they have very specific payment terms and processes in place, but it does take some time. There's a lot of out of pocket expenses, a lot of things that you don't anticipate just kicking off a contract and bidding and pursuing, which is a whole other episode in itself, right? Like
Oh yeah.
BNP costs, right? Like that's, listeners, that's where we're going next, is talking about BNP cost and creating a budget for that. But yeah, it does take some time for the cash to kind of flow. But you mentioned something kind of interesting, is the frequency, like weekly, like that really stuck with me. It seems like that's kind of uh, really, that's a lot to frequently assess all of that. Does that change depending upon the size of, your company, or do most companies do that at that frequency?
It really depends on sort of the movements that are happening, the changes that are coming by, right? If you're and the payment terms or the invoicing terms that you have with your customers and vendors. If there are invoices being submitted on a weekly basis, I would say you update your cash flow on a weekly basis, but at least once a month, because I know we're all invoicing at least once a month. So just updating it to ensure we're tracking all of the invoices that are going out and all of the invoices that are coming in that we should be planning to pay in the near future. So the frequency does depend on sort of these things that I just mentioned. So I would say once a month, at least once a month, you've got to look at your cash flow.
So yeah, cash flow truly is king, and managing it effectively can really kind of set a business on the path of success.